Hi, welcome to the Nursing Dose with your host, Farah, aka Dr. Laurent. Today, I have a very special guest. I have Mel Cortez out of Texas. She is an amazing entrepreneur, nurse, game changer, and she is just doing so many great things and creating impact in healthcare. So, if you want to introduce yourself and say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Farah, for having me on. I've just loved watching your brand and your businesses grow. If you guys aren't in one of Farah's amazing cohorts and classes, you need to be. She's excellent. I am Mel. I'm the CEO and founder of Tact Book. We are a global nonprofit that helps to reduce violence in healthcare and schools. I started off as a nurse. I was a nurse for 15 years and then developed a consultancy around violence reduction. Traveled around the world looking at different models all over, and then developed one that will hopefully become the national standard here in the United States.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And for those that, aren't really familiar, I'm going to be hosting this conference, Nurses Making Business Moves. And Mel is going to join us March 6th and 7th in Tampa, Florida.
I'm so excited. I love Florida. I'm ready. I'm ready, girl. I'm going to come wrestle an alligator or something. Isn't that what y'all do?
So she's going to come and be in person at the conference, Nurses Making Business Moves. So if you haven't gotten your ticket, make sure you get your ticket. You'll be able to connect with so many different nurses, entrepreneurs, potential investors. So definitely come. And I haven't announced it to everybody yet, but I'll be announcing it now. Mel is going to be one of the judges in the pitch competition that we're going to have. So excited to have you as a pitch competition judge.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I was able to spend some time with WeBank this year and watch their really big pitch competition, and just being able to see so many different innovators, and as a brand strategist helping Fortune 500 companies over the past 3 to 4 years in the security and healthcare vertical, it's been really cool to see the innovation that's occurred. And I think innovation is always really excellently done by nurses. We're always innovating at the bedside. We're always trying to find workarounds, and even so that the systems don't even know that we had that issue and we take care of it. So nurses in business, it's just a natural fit. And I'm so excited to hear everybody's awesome business ideas and definitely give good feedback. I think that's one of the best parts about a pitch competition is you get to know your product, you get to prepare for it. And then in that process, I think it really helps you grow and learn as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm so excited because this is going to be the very first time that I do have a pitch competition. I can't even speak.
I know, I'm jazzed. You're the perfect person to have it too, because you're like so supportive, and you're like, a lot of these pitch competitions are like terrifying. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people get really nervous and they're like, oh, we need to spend, X amount of dollars for quality video. Like, no, just give us your idea. I think, what do they have to do? They have to do like a 90-second video to.
Yeah, a 90-second video. So for anyone who's watching, the grand prize is obviously the 5K.
That's a lot of money for a startup. Yeah. If you know how to use that, that's a lot of money for a startup. And for whoever says that's not a lot of money, then you and I need to have some side conversations about how to spend that 5K. Okay.
Yes, it's a significant amount. And really, who's eligible is anybody that has a business idea. You don't necessarily have to have an actual formed business. So you can just have your business idea, pitch that in a 90-second video. You have to actually purchase a ticket to be able to enter the pitch competition. And if you are a business owner, you have to be at least a business owner for 5 years or less, because I just didn't want any like veteran business owners coming in and like taking over.
Yeah, that's fair because you do learn a lot. That first 5 years, like that is, they say that, and I definitely found this to be true. Like if you start a startup, it usually people quit within those first 5 years. So if they make it past that 5 years is like really where you start to see success. And I definitely think that's true. That's definitely been true in our company. We are completely bootstrapped. And so it has taken that amount of time, especially when you're trying to sell to healthcare, right? So And I think that there's a lot of opportunity for people, not only for just the conference, but, the ongoing support that you get from being part of something like this, from being part of a cohort, especially with someone like you who's helping to curate conversations and really have a great outcome, no matter if you win or don't win.
Yeah. And that's the exciting part. You can actually go to nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. You'll see all the criteria. You'll be able to upload your video there. And then in January, I'll announce, the finalists, and then the top 3 will actually come in person in Tampa and pitch. And then, Mel will be one of the judges along with 2 other judges. And then you'll be able to, pitch your idea, your business, and be able to win that 5K. And it's just so important, right? Like,
like you're in a room full of people that can shorten the learning curve by years. So the conversations that you might have there could become partnerships. They could be customers. They could become collaborators, or like even fellow co-founders if you find someone in alignment. And you can use that super wisely. And I think, that you can use us as panelists and the energy in the room to really get momentum for validating your ideas. Lots of opportunities get unlocked there. And I think as I've coached more startups and built more programs, I've watched people's entire careers pivot because someone just took 5 brave minutes on stage. So I don't think anybody can really underestimate the value that can come.
Yeah. And honestly, I think as novice entrepreneurs, one big thing is just articulating what you do in your business, whether you have a product or a service. So pitch competitions and preparing for them, I think, are so important because it really helps people get clarity and really to articulate what it is that they do, so they can really have that those communication skills to articulate what they do in the marketplace. And then, like you said, also be able to get feedback from other entrepreneurs who will be there, other nurses and people that have been in the game for quite some time, to really get those actionable tips and things like that they could use to grow their business, right?
Yeah, and we say confidence is like, the most important piece of this. And comfort, if you're hesitating because you're like, oh my gosh, this sounds like really intimidating. Comfort kills businesses. Comfort kills you. Like, you have to be in a place where you're uncomfortable to grow. We know that. I mean, just like when you're in the gym and your muscles are growing, you got to tear those muscle fibers so they can build back together. So I say, like, discomfort is the best way to grow.
Yeah, 100%. Even something as simple as, it's so funny, right? Like, I talk to a lot of nurses and other entrepreneurs, but mostly aspiring nurse entrepreneurs or novice ones. And they're like, yeah, some of them are like, yeah, so I have this business I just started and I have a website, but I didn't share it yet. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, if people don't know about you, they don't know about your business, they don't know you exist, like, how are you going to do business with people, right? So it's that fear of judgment, and you just have to get over that.
Judgment-free zone. We smile and we don't judge.
Yes.
I'll be judging, but not like, not judging you personally. No.
Yeah, because honestly, I think that's one of the biggest hurdles that most people have to get over. I talk about this all the time, being visible, whether it's in-person events, networking, or creating content on social media. We talked about Gary Vee earlier. And
my man.
Yeah. Oh. He's like,
if you guys don't know who Gary Vee is, start there. No.
Yeah, he's one of the best marketers, built this huge media marketing company. And all he talks about is like really just being visible, being on social, putting your ideas out there, and just being consistent, right?
Consistency is so key. Like, and that's where discipline comes in, right? Because you're not always going to have motivation. Like, if I could tell you the amount of days where I'm like, I really don't want to do this today, but it's the self-discipline that says, okay, I have a long-term goal, and whether that goal is financial freedom or that goal is purpose-driven, I always find that the best businesses that succeed the most are the ones that don't focus on finances, right? So I think, like, when we're looking at making investments into our business, because I see, like, anytime that you're gonna pay for the ticket, or, take your time out to make the 90-second video, or spend your time, because time is money in business. So
Right.
the time that you make that investment into you, it's so important where you put that time and energy. And I think that's why I was happy to step up and put my time and energy into this, because I think you curate a really great place for people to invest, because there's tons of coaches out there, there's tons of people all over that are asking for, high dollar ticket elements to teach you how to do X, Y, and Z. And this is different. You know what I mean? This is, taking the skills inherently of a nurse, maturing those skills, and then being able to direction them into an area where they want to succeed or see purpose. And I think if you have a purpose-driven business, which
Yeah.
most nurses do, because we get into the profession to do good for other people,
Right.
I think the money follows the purpose. The money, if you're focused on the money and you're focused on, your outlook is, oh, I don't have enough to do this, or I don't know if this is a good investment, or should I spend the money on the ticket? Like, the answer is yes, because if you invest in yourself and you invest in the time in the right community, the output is insane. And say even your business doesn't succeed and you decide that you're going to, pivot.
Yeah.
Well, you still gained tons of, mentorship and resources and people that are really there to support you in whatever path that you take.
Yeah, I mean, that's so powerful, everything you just said there, because that's something that I preach all the time. And it's not just me preaching it, I actually live this. So many people may look at us as entrepreneurs or, nurses in business, and they're like, well, wait, how much did you spend on that coaching program? Or like, why did you go to that business mastermind and spend that much money? And to me, it's like you said, it's an investment. And right, I've spent so much money this year back into my business, back into myself to grow, right? And sometimes it's learning skills outside of what we're normally used to. So in nursing, there's a lot of like, silos, but this is why I've built the Nurses Making Business Move space, to bring in other experts outside of nursing in marketing, sales, and things like that, because nursing needs to learn from other industries to get better, not just as a profession, but in your career, but also to think like a business. I just had one of the podcasts yesterday, one of the speakers, and I was just saying, like, even if you don't want to start a business as a nurse, you need to start thinking about yourself as a business and move as such, whether it's negotiating your salary, the decisions you make, strategic decisions that can help you grow in your career. Or if you do want to start a business, right? You have to invest in yourself. And that's the only way that you're going to grow. And I always say that I pay for proximity. What does that mean? Right? Like,
it's not what you know, it is who you know. And I will preach that to the ends of the earth. Like, it doesn't matter if you have the best business idea ever. If nobody knows about it and they don't know how to get in touch with you and they can't understand what you're saying, you won't get any business. So the networking capability and the visibility, that's the benefit of social now, right? Like, social is free marketing. You can make one post that can change your life. And so I think that being in an audience or in front of people that can give you insight and know other people, and with, potential investors, potential collaborators, potential partners, potential clients that could be in the space that are hearing what you're going to say, that's a game changer. That changes your whole life.
Yeah. And that's what I say. Like, some people may say, well, like, I don't know if I want to pay for that conference ticket, like da 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 da. And like I said, it's an investment and it's not for everybody. If you don't see the value in being in a room full of nurses, entrepreneurs who are business minded, where you learn about marketing, sales, things that can help you grow in your career and your business, then maybe it's not for you, right? But that's why, like I said, I've curated this space to have people that are growth mindset, as like a foundation, right? Like, if you don't have a growth mindset, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow in business or your career. And moving away, like you mentioned, like from that scarcity mindset, like, oh, I don't know if I can like put that money out there. Like, I don't know if I can, there's not enough opportunities. if you get stuck in that negative thinking, nothing is going to happen for you.
And we
right?
all get there. We all get there. Like even myself, like after being in business for so many years and seeing, being blessed to see a tremendous amount of success from our team, I find that if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room. And like if I'm not taking advice or spending time with my team, and there's many moments where I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like, I can do this anymore. And people are like, no, keep going. You know what I mean? So I think and those moments are what have propelled us to this point, is being able to have a team of people that believed in what we were doing, and believed in who we could be and what we could potentially achieve. And then now we're doing it. So I think that surrounding yourself with people who are, successful. And I tell people this all the time. No one that's more successful than you is ever going to throw shade or hate in your direction because they know what it took them to get there. It's always the people that are probably less successful or, have a little bit of that envy, or because they're finding things about themselves that they can't achieve those things. They're the ones that are throwing that negativity and that bad energy because they can't achieve the things that they think that you can achieve. So I think that's important, to surround yourself with people that are going to support you and give you positive advice. And nobody doing better than you will ever throw shade your way.
Yeah. And that's so important because, I follow a lot of millionaires and a lot of marketers and things like that. But a couple things you said, having a business that's purpose or impact driven is very important, right? So for you, I know a big part of it is like, non-violence environments and keeping schools and healthcare spaces safe. And then for me, it's always about empowering nurses to do more and to just be bold. And, I talk about making money moves a lot and making business moves because a lot of nurses get stuck, right? They get stuck in a system where they're like, oh, I can't do much,
Oh, you can. I tell people that all the time. Like, you can definitely make a change in your environment. It's just about how you do it. And I think a lot of people waste time and energy and resources trying to chase avenues that aren't productive. So if you can find people who have paved the way before you, like we're nurses. We're nurses that were able to grow brands. So taking advice from people that are doing the things. And I think sometimes social media is really misleading. You might see people on social that have a big following or a big network or are posting constantly, but those people are probably not doing a lot of work on the back end because they're trying to grow a community or influence. But if you really want to build a business that's profitable and long term, you have to learn how to be a business person. You have to learn how to speak finance. You have to learn how to speak accounting. You have to learn how to evaluate a business. You have to learn how to pitch your business. And I think that being able to find yourself in a room with people that have done that and have been successful at that part, the social media stuff's easy. Posting on LinkedIn is easy in comparison to doing the actual work.
Yeah. And that's what I would like. The big message for everybody that's watching is, if you're not feeling fulfilled, if you feel like you could do something bigger, you're not quite sure, you need some clarity, you're just not happy in your current place, and you're like, you know what, I can make a change. You can actually create your own path. And this is what entrepreneurship brings, I think, because there's so much creativity and freedom in it that there's so many solutions out there that you can bring to the marketplace. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in nursing or in healthcare.
Yep.
Nurses are so creative and just so solution driven that I think they make great entrepreneurs because we're so adaptable and all the transferable skills can go to entrepreneurship. So
I started a general contracting company, and my general contracting company is blowing up because I'm really good at SOPs and protocols and running the organization in a really systemized way, just like healthcare. So we've done really, really well. Compliance and quality and safety are all things that we keep at top of mind. And, now we become experts in MEP design, which is a need that's here, and so I've been able to just pull together a network of really good tradespeople, and we flip flip homes, we do commercial, we do residential, we do all kinds of different things. And that was really just born from knowing that there was a need. And so that's a non-healthcare vertical that I've been really successful in based on my nursing education and my knowledge.
Yeah. And that's what I want nurses to know, that, it doesn't have to be, anything massive. You could create a solution that could get you to financial freedom. You could solve problems.
Write a book. Or if you're the brand, if you have a story to tell the story. And I think that's one of the shifts that we're seeing in social and just the changes in business is that the more authentic that you can be to yourself, that's your path, right? That's your path forward. And I think once we try to mimic somebody else or be like somebody else, you're not as successful because you are the success. You are the brand. You are the business.
Yeah. And that's why I tell nurses all the time, I started this journey like about 4 years ago, being super consistent on social media and, building my brand. And, some people think, well, like building a brand, you have to like share every personal thing about yourself. And I'm like, not necessarily. As long as you're giving value consistently, sharing about what is important to you, what values, what you stand for, what impact you want to make, and just creating content can really help build your brand. But obviously, there's nothing like networking in person if you're able to. That's why you should come to.
No, I think there's like energy in the room. Like I say that all the time. Like they're like, and it's the ability to like sit and have conversations and one-on-one. I mean, there's certain clients like that I can, we deal with online, but there are also certain clients where I'm like, we have to be in person to assess this. We have to be in person because I have to feel how the culture is on the unit. I have to feel how people feel about your organization. So there are times where it just has to be done in person. And I think the other thing about what you offer is the high value that comes with the lead up to the conference, after the conference, the support that you offer long term. Like it isn't just come, pay your ticket. We have, 2 days in Tampa. We have a great time. And then it's, oh, thank you. Bye. Like it's you're part of this community, this network that you're building, which is super powerful. And I found value from the things that you post. And I think that is an important part of building as growing as a human and growing as, for me, a mom and, a partner. And I think that these type of things give us opportunities to just continue to achieve.
Yeah, honestly, since creating this first conference, because I just did the first one just this past March, I've had such tremendous like outreach support, really internationally. Like there are nurses that are reaching out to me from Australia that have gotten tickets, the UK, Canada, I'm also Canadian. So Canada, US. So it's like created a really strong movement in this community of nurses who really want to grow and explore other options, because really entrepreneurship, I think, is really blowing up.
And your conference ticket to be able to pitch is like literally 1/8 of the cost of some of these big nursing conferences that people are going to. And like they're great and everything, but what value are you really getting? Are you getting a ton of sales from them? Are you getting something from them? This, you have the potential to transform your business, which is the foundation of everything that you're doing. It's not just social media presence. It's let's step aside and let's get into the weeds and figure out how to make your business viable and successful.
Yeah, because honestly, it's not just like you said, it's not just like your typical conference where you just get information and that's it, right? You are getting, there's no gatekeeping of information. You're creating these connections that are like lifelong friendships. Like you said, some people actually had sales, got clients. People were on each other's podcasts. Like it still continues. Like the relationships, the ROI, I guess you could say, it still continues after the conference. And it's really just a community that's just been great. And people are like, I can't wait to go to the next one. And people are already like trying to get me to, to go to Texas in
Oh my
2020.
God, yes. And I don't do conferences, girl. So the fact that I am here for it means that it's legit, because I don't have time to waste, if I'm being very honest. Like, when
Yes.
you have a big business, when your business gets to a certain point, like there are people that depend on me for their livelihood. So if I'm going to take time away from the business and operations and from our clients all over the world, then I need to make sure that I am in a place that I think is going to give actual value to people. And I think that's one of the reasons why, we're here. When I put your conference on the calendar, they're like, "You're doing a conference? Like, what's wrong?" I was like, they're like, "Do you know her?" I was like, "Yes." I was like, "I know her, but also I think it's going to be amazing." And I'm so excited. So we're super happy to be there. And, I'm excited to, hopefully go out to our network and be able to get some more sponsorship and some other things to help support you, because I believe in what you're doing, because you're doing it for the right reasons.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna make me cry. I'm telling you.
And to me, that's what matters, right? Like, that's what
Yeah.
matters. You're not doing it because you want to fill up your pockets with money. You want to do it because you want to see nurses succeed. You want to see people succeed. And I think that's what true mentors and true purpose-driven entrepreneurs are here for.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love you. I really do appreciate it. Because it does mean a lot, especially when
It's so much work. It's so much freaking work to do this. Like, I'm nah, no. We have a sales team. They do that. They're like, "Mel, please stop. Please stop trying to help us plan things." I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Like, because Mel's like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. Like, I can't even, thank God they drive for me now, because I don't even, like, me driving, trying to work and drive is just horrific. I'm like missing exits. My kid's like, "Football practice was 3 exits ago." I'm like, whatever. Like,
That's like me, right? I'm always like have no direction, but no, but I really, in all honesty, I really do appreciate it, because it's also rare to see. This is why I'm like so excited about this conference and this movement. It's sometimes rare to really see true support from nurses supporting other nurses, number one. Number two, like females coming together and supporting other female business owners. Because, again, it's all about that abundance mindset. It's not about competition, it's about just celebration, supporting each other. And like you said, I want to see nurses win. Like, we literally put our lives on the
put our
line.
lives on the line.
Like,
I mean,
former ER nurse.
you can ask me, because I get the calls every day. Every day. I mean, the FBI is calling us like, "Hey, here's the next consult," right? So I hear every day what sacrifice that us as nurses and other healthcare workers, teachers, students are making. And, if it weren't for people that believed in me and supported me, I would never be able to, change lives in the way that we've been able to change lives. So I think it's really important that we spend time with other people, because there is a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people that are vying for visibility on LinkedIn and whatever else, but that means nothing in comparison to actually making real change in the system or in your own world.
Yeah, and that's why the message that I shared to nurses, it's okay if you still want to do bedside, but still have a side hustle that you enjoy to do. Let's normalize that. Let's normalize nurses wanting more, whether that's more money, more time off, or
I spent 4 years of this company still at the bedside, even to the point where I had to back off and work one shift every 6 weeks, because I believe that my nursing skills kept me relevant, right? So even as the company did better and better, and now unfortunately it's just the time commitment, right? Like, I can't make the time commitment for staff meetings and all of the other things that, I have to prioritize my clients over that. But, I was happy to stay at the bedside. And I think there's a lot of people that I thought about, trying to do hospice or something, that to keep my skills up. But unfortunately, I just can't. There needs to be another one of me. Who's doing cloning? Like, who's doing that? Oh my God, my boyfriend would be like, "Please don't make another one."
Yeah, that's why. I mean, and again, and this is even conversations in the beginning when you are starting a business. A lot of times it's like you're by yourself, solopreneur, but then eventually, learning how to build out a team and all those things. These are all conversations that we're having in these spaces at the conference, Nurses Making Business Moves. So if you don't have your ticket, you're just joining us, please go to nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com, get your ticket. Mel Cortez will be one of the judges for the pitch competition. Well, you have the opportunity to win $5K. All the details are on that webpage. I'll share the link below later. And then also, you're going to meet people internationally from all over. So it's just going to be such a good opportunity to connect and just have conversations that could literally get you clarity, right? Because clarity helps save time, right? So in the like which direction you should move in your business, is it going to be profitable? All the strategies that you should do. So
to people who know the market, right? Like we're out there already in the market. We're closing health systems. We're closing, so if you're trying to sell to healthcare, you're trying to, you're welcome to pull me aside and say, hey, what do you think about my idea? So even if you're not pitching, get your tickets, come see what's going on in the market. This is where innovation happens, is by talking to people that are selling and are successful in the industry, to tell you, where things are headed or what's going on.
Right. And you're going to learn, obviously, how to pitch, right? How to become better at pitching. We're pitching pretty much every day. I was just talking about this yesterday. Like, I pitch to my kids even, right? Like, hey.
Oh, my kids know. They're like, I know what to say. Like, if someone asks about my mother, I know what to say and what not to say. I'm like, yeah, we're going to do our elevator pitch, boys. They're like, Mom, I just want to get to football practice. I'm like,
right. But like, we have to normalize learning about all these things, negotiating and all these things. But yeah, I'm just so excited that you're going to be there.
Me too. I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so excited. And if you guys are watching and let's say you are interested in becoming a sponsor, definitely reach out to me, because we are still looking for sponsors. Also, exhibitor tables. We'll
have a table there. We're going to do a table there and do a little sponsorship for you. So I'm really excited. We'll have some merch to give away from our tactical training and tactical scrubs. So we'll have some stickers and t-shirts and hats and all kinds of good stuff to give away.
Awesome. I'm so excited. And tell the people also, where they can reach you if they want to learn more about what you do. And if they want to connect with you and, maybe get a consult, where can they find you?
They can find us at tactbook.org or on LinkedIn. You can message me on LinkedIn. Consults for fellow nurse executives are always free. And then we have some auditing tools and things that can help see if your workplace violence prevention program is meeting state and federal requirements of things that are coming down the pike. And then we also do crisis and rapid response if somebody has violent incidents inside their organizations. And we train anybody that takes Medicare or Medicaid funding in a nonprofit approach. So for a donation, we provide the training and resources.
Yeah, she's doing amazing work, and definitely reach out to her if you're interested to learn more and connect with her on LinkedIn. And then as we're wrapping up, I just wanted to ask, like, what are you most excited about coming to the Nurses Making Business Moves conference?
I'm excited to see all the finalists, and I'm excited to see just the innovation that's out there. And I'm excited to see people grow. That's what I'm really excited to see, is to be able to see people grow. And we were talking about this earlier, comfort kills, right? So It feels uncomfortable, but it's something that, like, in the pit of your stomach, you're thinking you might do it. Just do it. Just do it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? We say no, or we give you feedback and you get better, or you win $5K. I mean, come on. Can I?
Awesome. And what would you say to any, aspiring nurse entrepreneur or entrepreneur? What would be, some of your best advice to them in terms of, growing their business or anything?
My number one piece of advice that I give to people that are starting a business is that you have two choices. You can either spend millions on marketing and ad spend, or you can have an excellent brand that speaks for itself. So spend the time investing in branding. Use story branding. I think that's one of the best ways to do it. There's a great book out there about story branding, some YouTube videos, and really try to figure out who your client is and build out that persona, and then tailor your business to meet the needs of a market.
That is amazing. So I'm actually going to be talking about branding. That's one of my topics because I think that is so important. Whether you have a business or not, or you want to grow in your career, creating a brand is absolutely so important. So again, for those that are asking for the website, it's nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. I just put it up there. Thank you everybody on TikTok for watching, on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. If you happen to be watching the replay, drop any comments or questions that you guys have and connect with Mel Cortez. Come meet us in person in Tampa, March 6th and 7th. Thank you again for coming on to the show and sharing all your expertise and knowledge. Any last words to the peeps?
I'm so grateful, and thank you guys, and be safe out there.
And yes, happy holidays, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.